And welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, do me a favor, just hit that like button. It just helps out the channel a lot more than you think. Because what you don't like, somebody else might love. And also, you don't have to subscribe, but I hope you do, because I do a lot of things on this channel, including movie reviews, top fives that I do every Wednesday. And today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite, and yes, I said it, and this is easily my favorite Bill Murray movies. And it takes place on my birthday, February 2nd, which for me is right around the corner. And I just really want to talk about Groundhog Day. This Steelbook is absolutely beautiful, and I absolutely love the back of this. This, with the little groundhog, because my birthday was February 2nd, it was on Groundhog's Day. In school, I used to get made fun of, and they used to call me a groundhog. I guess because I used to have buck teeth, and I used to look like a groundhog from what they said, and my birthday falls on February 2nd. I just want to talk about my favorite Bill Murray movie. And this transfer is absolutely gorgeous. Now, there was a release of the 4K version years ago. You know what? I just got happy when I seen that little sign right there, that Dolby Vision. Here's the inside real quick. This transfer is absolutely gorgeous. When you look at the movie in a whole, the reason why I like Dolby Vision so much, and I'll be flashing different images and different video clips. Now, remember, when I post these images or clips, they are not from any other YouTube channel. They are not from anything else. They are from my phone, from my TV. So what you may see on your phone, on your TV, on your screen, may not depict on actually what you might see in real life, in real time while watching this movie. Now, if you are a Steelbook collector, which I am not, I do like to grab a couple of them. I'm just a physical media collector in general. Now, years back when this got its first 4K release, it was only in HDR. Now, I don't have a problem with HDR. Most movies are in HDR because it is an open format, whereas Dolby Vision, you have to pay to use that format. And I understand why a lot of studios and companies and people who are restoring this movie don't want to use that, because it does cost money. I really feel like this Dolby Vision adaptation of Groundhog Day is worth every dollar. And I don't think that this Steelbook was even that much money. I pre-ordered it when I heard about it over on Ken's channel. I watch Ken's channel faithfully for the Physical Media Tuesdays. That's where I get all my stuff. I could physically just, look it up myself on Blu-ray.com, but I don't like to.
I was elected to lead, not to read. Number 3.
I like to actually watch because it's enthusiastic. So if you ever are into that sort of thing, I'm going to link him down below. If you haven't seen the movie, which I don't know anybody who hasn't seen Groundhog Day, but if you haven't seen the movie, this is basically about Bill Murray. He plays a weather reporter, and he goes to this little town every year to celebrate Groundhog Day, and he does news coverage and the whole theory behind Groundhog Day. So he really doesn't like to go. He really feels like he should be a lot more bigger than what he is. Like, he just has an ego that nobody else has, and I've never seen before. I mean, he is cocky, he is arrogant, he is very to himself, he doesn't care about anybody. So in this movie, because he hates what he's doing, because he has to go to this town on this particular day, he literally wakes up every single day, and the whole day resets itself. He's driving himself absolutely crazy the first couple of times when he wakes up and he realizes, oh my God, this is still February 2nd, and he can't escape that day. And the whole moral of the movie, he is going to keep waking up in February 2nd on that day until he makes things right and he realizes who he really is and has to really dig deep for himself. That's the way that I took the movie, is that until he gets it right, he is not going to escape any kind of like past, and he can't move on until he gets it right. And the whole thing goes from a comedy turning into a love story. But as far as like the shadow detail, the blacks, the grays, everything is so well detailed. You can see the textures, everything. And the most favorite part about this whole transfer is that they left that film grain in there. And if you're from my generation, then film grain is something that as a kid I hated it because I really thought it ruined the movie. But growing up, I just feel like now if I don't have that film grain and I watch a movie from back then, I just feel like it doesn't have the same impact. I'm not sure if I'm the only one that feels like that, but that's how I feel. I pop in that 4K and it was like just absolutely stunning. There is nothing that I would change. I can't say enough about it. And the one thing I do like, because Dolby Atmos was, I believe, on the other 4K, but the Dolby Atmos actually comes in handy in this movie, because at first I was kind of thinking, why in the world would they have this in Dolby Atmos? Because there's really not a lot going on. It's not like a crazy action movie, but it actually made sense. With the Dolby Atmos, every time that he steps outside and he's in like this blizzard or there's a gust of wind or something of that nature, you literally hear it in those ceiling speakers. And I was like, did I just hear that? And I turned to my little man and I'm like, Bub, did you hear that? And he's like, yeah, Dad. Like, you could hear the winds like swooshing, and it feels like it sounds and feels like you're really in this blizzard with them. And all of like the things, you could hear like the power lines even in those ceiling speakers like swaying back and forth. It's absolutely crazy. But it's only really when he goes outside, when those wind gusts or that blizzard is happening. But then again, most movies are like that, where you only get the Dolby Atmos every now and again. Dolby Atmos is not really made for all the time on 24/7 surround sound. It's just not for that. It is just for particular parts in a movie. This one, I was actually shocked, because like I said, all that wind and everything, you just heard it. It was awesome. So, in quick theory, if you stuck with me all this way, I appreciate it. I know sometimes I ramble and go off track, but then I go back on track, and then I go off track, and then I go back on track. And, I just, like I said, I'm very passionate about this. So I wanted to say thank you for sticking around. And is it really worth getting the Steelbook and then upgrading to get that Dolby Vision? If you care about Dolby Vision like I do, I'm going to tell you 100% yes. 100%. I will stand by that. I'll never watch this in HDR unless, there's a TV like Samsung who doesn't have Dolby Vision, which, stop being cheap, Samsung. You need to step your game up. Anyways, come Wednesday, I will be doing a top 5 with a special guest on the channel, and we are going to be talking about, well, you have to stay tuned and tune in on Wednesday to find out who my special guest is, because you ain't gonna want to miss this one either. Anytime I have a special guest, you're not gonna want to miss it, because it's always somebody fun and entertaining and somebody that actually shares the same passion that I do for movies and that we all do, all of us physical media collectors. So anyways, thank you so much for sticking in. Like I said, hit that like button on your way out and do me one favor. Like, share. You don't have to subscribe, but I hope you do. Anyways, I'll see you on Wednesday.
Thank you. You love me. You really love me. Oliver?